What you are going to see now, there are two tables, very, very significant, to do with Zohar and Kabbalah, with Isaac Luria. For this, definitely, to understand it fully, some Jewish people will learn Kabbalah, are familiar with Hebrew letters and so on. So, what we see here, this is a part of Professor Robert Haralik's site, torahcode.us. And this is what you see here is about the Zohar, Kabbalah, and Isaac Luria. So the 16th century Kabbalist Rabbi Isaac ben Solomon Luria revolutionized the study of Jewish mysticism through Kabbalah. He had the gift to explore the innermost depth of the Zohar. His disciple, Rab Chaim Vital, wrote down his teachings, which have come to be known as Lurianic Kabbalah. In this table, we take his name, Isaac Luria, Yitzchak Luria, and pair it with Zohar and Kabbalah. I mean, put it together with the word Zohar and Kabbalah. The probability that a table as compact as this would arise in the ELS, which is equal letter sequence, random, placement, monkey text, population is 9.5 under thousands. Definitely very, very significant. So what you see here, best reading of Yitzchak Luria, Isaac Luria, parallel Kabbalah, and Zohar. And as Professor Robert Haralik from Grandeur Center University in New York analyzes the expected number of ELS is set to 50. Very interesting. 50 also indicates the 50 gates of understanding. The cylinder has 16 columns. The probability that a table as compact as this would arise in the ELS, equal letter sequence, random, placement, monkey text, popular is 9.5 under thousands. Then monkey text means that things not with no intention to do this, what comes out. So this is the most important part, the basis of Isaac Luria, Kabbalah Zohar. And then we have continuation to this table, as you see here. And to understand it, we have to learn what is written here, the site torahcode.us. So the Kabbalah Zohar Isaac Luria table as a development found by Professor Rips. I mean, after I found Luria, so then Professor Rips found amazing development. To understand the significance of the development, one must understand the four different miluim are feelings of the name of God, of the tetragrammaton divine name, Yud Kevavke, like the letter Yud, A, Vav, A. So the letter A can be written with Aleph, can be written with Hey, with Yud. So there are three possibilities. This is the basis of this, what we are going to see now. One way of making the feeling of the divine name as a gematria of 72, like Yud Vav Daled, 20, and then Yud 15, Vav 22, and again 15, you come to 72. And this is a divine name as manifested in the word of emanation, whose dominant sephira is Chokhmah. Another way of making the feeling of the divine name as a gematria of 45, which is Yud Vav Daled, 20, and then A Aleph, Vav Aleph Vav, and A Aleph. This is a divine name as manifested in the word of formation, which is Sefer Yetzirah, which is Yetzirah עולם היצירה, whose dominant sephira is Tiferet. Starting from 45 and going to 72 correspond to the starting from the Tiferet, the sphere of Tiferet, harmony, the central sphere of emotion, to do with the heart, and going to the Chokhmah, which is wisdom, the sphere of wisdom. This is the path of the returning light. According to the Kabbalah teachings, one of our jobs in the world is to clarify it. Clarifying it means transforming the evil we encounter to good. Evil here means a perceived lack of divine presence when we are in the situation which the technical language of the Kabbalah calls a vessel, and thinks that the divine is not present, then we need clarification. We accomplish the clarification by thinking, speaking, and doing in a Torah correct way, by which the lack or deficiency that we initially perceived changes to a fullness and completeness by our virtual thoughts, speech, and action. The physical world is changed, and our consciousness of it is changed. Thus, we have a clarified situation. Was that muddy? Not clear. Basically, it is interesting that this is really the work that we are now doing. This is a way of counting the days of the Omer, and if you follow my lecture about its meaning, is really all this work is to transcending or changing, elevating the physical, the Homer material into light, exactly what you see here. The development found by Professor Reeves is the ELS, equivalent in phrase 45. This is the divine name of Gematria 45. This is God name Yud Kevav K with the letter Aleph, A Aleph, and Vav Aleph Vav. In the word of formation, will clearly in the vessel 72, the divine name of Gematria 72 in the word of emanation. This is Kabbalistic technical language saying that the vessel in which we found ourselves did not have the flow of Shefa, which is the flow of the divine light, and we acted in such a way that the received light was made to flow from lower to higher to elimination. The vessel's elimination vessel is associated with the chokhmah, wisdom. The phrase will clarify in the vessel is a precise phrase that is used. So very interesting. You are going to see just now this clearly. So let us see now the table which discuss about. So what you have here, this is what we saw before about the Klura, Kabbalah, and so on. Now what we have here, we have here Ma Yevarer Bechli Av, which is what you see here in English, the divine name of Gematria 45 will clarify in the vessel the divine name of Gematria 72. Okay, definitely people will understand it, but there is a famous concept that in the beginning of creation, we had the spheres, but they were not arranged properly, one after behind the other, was too much light, and this light brought to the breaking of the vessel, and then came the name Ma 45 and fixed it in a nice order, right, left, and middle, right, and this really rectified and clarified the vessel and came again in the right order. So exactly what you see here, Rabbi Zekluria, Ze'ari, and exactly what he did was, Ma yevarer bekli av. So this was, the Zohar tells us, that the name of God Ma fortified, clarified and rectified the broken vessel and brought it back to the normal and the ideal situation which is our. Unbelievable to have such meaningful sentence which exactly fit what Kabbalah said. Kabbalah says it's ma ivar bekliya, and to have very highly what we saw before of Isaac Luria and Kabbalah together with was the most important teaching, the basis of Kabbalah, definitely far away from being coincident. So this is the development of the Zohar, Kabbalah, Isaac Luria table. The cylinder of this is 16, unbelievable, 16 letters only. You have all this, what you see here. Definitely far away from being coincident. And this is really the best proof and the strongest proof that there is connection between Kabbalah, the Zohar, and the Bible code. So, as I said, it might be difficult for people who are not familiar with this Kabbalah, speaking about different worlds and so on, but it's the basis. So many, I assume, people who know this, many Jewish people learn Kabbalah, Chal and others are familiar very much with this concept, and it is no explanation, no statistic to explain to us that all the idea of Kabbalah, of Isaac Luria, the Zohar, are basically explaining to us how this world was rectified after the breaking of the vessel, and Ma, this is the name of God, we came out from the forehead of God and clarified and rectified the broken vessel and fixed it back to the Ayin Bet, to the 72. So very interesting and important and significant, one can say the most important table, which clearly tells us how the Bible code and Kabbalah goes together.